for whatever reason, I don't have any internet connection on my phone, so I can't listen to anything on my way home. So I thought, well, I'll make a video and then I can talk the whole way and upload it when I get home on my Wi-Fi. So that's the plan. I don't know if I'll talk the whole hour, but we'll see how it goes. I tried to rotate my phone so you guys could see the scenery, but this freaking mount is just not in the right spot without turning it. Like, it just doesn't work. Or if I have it facing me, then y'all can see me, but if there's like a cop behind me, he can see that he can see me recording myself, basically. So I'm just gonna have it facing forward. The sun is like super bright. I should probably turn on my cruise control so I'm not speeding. Alright, so I thought about making a video this morning, but my mind kind of kept jumping from thing to thing. And I do try to make videos where I talk about something valid and not just ramble about my life. I try to talk about things that I can teach something or explain something or give a thought or idea about, an opinion, whatever, that could be useful to someone. So, like I said, my mind kind of kept going from thing to thing and couldn't really settle on one thing. I do know that it's been on my mind again because I had another interesting trainee that it was just so clear that he didn't want to be there. He's only there because his roommates want him to be working and earning an income, and if not, they're going to kick him out. And so it showed really thoroughly in his attitude towards me and towards what I was trying to teach him. And it was really frustrating. By like day 3, I wanted him out. I was done. And then all of a sudden, the last day on Friday, his attitude changed and he had a much better attitude. He was more engaged and wasn't as disrespectful, and it was kind of crazy that it was just this turnaround. But I still was nervous about sending him to the next trainer because she is not as vocal, you know, as I am necessarily. I don't know that she would say something with him being disrespectful. I unfortunately don't have the self-control that she does, and I will snap, you know. He said something one time that was like he was pointing out the obvious, and I couldn't help but sarcastically be like, oh really? No way. I couldn't tell, you know. I couldn't keep it in. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? And I was waiting for the next tone of voice that was disrespectful, and I was going to pull him in and have a chit chat with him about being respectful to people who are training you, who are older than you, who are in a position that's higher than you, and who are trying to help you. You should show them some respect. Just whether you want their help or not, you're there and you're getting their help, so give them the respect that they deserve. But it was just one of those things where I was thinking, like, that's really gotta suck. I mean, I know a lot of people go to jobs that they don't like, but to actively hate your job every day just makes it that much worse. It makes it that much harder. It makes it that much more miserable. Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? There's always something good you can find that you can focus on to not make it so hard on yourself. Like, it makes it so much harder on yourself to be in that mindset. And, you know, it just kind of made me sad that I'm very lucky that I do like my job. But I can't imagine if I didn't, like, how miserable that would be. Sure, I hate getting up and going to work every day. We all do. I hate that I have to be there, or I'm going to be absent, or I have to use PTO, or, like my bosses expect me to be there at this time every day, and I'm done at this time every day. I hate that fact. But I don't hate my job, and I enjoy what I do. So the days tend to fly by. I mean, I seem to never get enough done in a day, but that's everybody, I think, for the most part. So yeah, it was just an interesting thought about really, back to how your mindset can really change everything. It's all about perspective. You choose to have a shitty perspective on things, or you don't broaden your mind and expand your mind and your knowledge and your thinking and your self-awareness, gosh, it makes it a lot harder and a lot more miserable than it needs to be. So yeah, there's a little tidbit on that. Yeah. What else can I talk about? A brief update on the vegan diet. So I'm definitely more dirty vegetarian than vegan. But my husband has stuck to the vegan thing. He's still doing it. But some of the things we started out eating, we kind of overdid, I guess. So like, I can't even smell hummus and pita bread at this point because it literally turns my stomach. I ate so much of it in a couple of, like the first month, that I can't even smell it right now. I'm just like, bleh. So it's been a couple months since I've even had that. And then just some of the dishes I was making early on, like we just don't feel like it. We go to the grocery store and we either the Walmart selection for produce in our area has been awful. It's just been ridiculous. I can't even get a head of cabbage. There's no cabbage. It's stupid. But, just kind of throwing things together was a lot easier at first, it felt like. And now it's more of a chore. It's harder. It's harder to come up with ideas. It's always been hard for me to make enough food to have leftovers for the week. So when I do make something, it's usually enough for dinner and maybe a little bit of leftovers. So, I'm not able to like plan for the week in that way. But I've reduced my amount of food that I buy at work, minus snacks, because I've been super hungry lately. I think it was last Thursday, I ate like 4 times and was still hungry. So I ate an hour before lunchtime, I ate at lunchtime, and then I ate like an hour and a half after lunchtime. And by the time I got home, I was hungry and ate again. And with food available, I would probably eat at least 3 times a day, just to try to keep from feeling so hungry all the time. I've been buying chips because they're really, like, I don't want to buy a sandwich. They're too expensive and they're garbage. Chips are garbage too, but I'm just desperate for anything to try to, like, take the edge off the hunger that I'm, like, starving all the time. So that's a little frustrating, mainly because my days are busy and I get home at, like, 8 o'clock and go to bed. I try to go to bed at 9:30. Well, I try to be asleep by 9:30, 10, I should say. So that doesn't give me a lot of time to prep and cook. And I forget that I have the option of prepping one night and cooking the next. But not all dishes, work that way. So that's been kind of a struggle. But I'm really proud of my husband for having stuck with it. My lack of sticking with it really is pure laziness, to be honest. But I also don't have health conditions that I'm battling. I don't have weight issues that I'm battling. And so maybe I feel like it's not as applicable to me. Even though his reasons were not solely for health. I don't buy meat for the house, ever. And I don't buy dairy for the house, ever. The meat and dairy I have is outside of the house, either prepared at a gathering or You know, like if I go to Taco Bell, I get cheese in my burrito because I can't stand it without it. So, you know, things like that. But also an interesting note, maybe somebody in here knows something about this. I've thought for a long time that I was lactose intolerant. Not to a high degree, but I had noticed that every time I eat ice cream or had a bowl of cereal, my stomach would just growl and grumble and rumble for like an hour, like something fierce. And so I figured it was the lactose. Well, we haven't had actual milk or dairy in the house forever, and we buy almond milk, and I think the other one was almond oat or oat something. But regardless, they're not cow's milk, and yet within 3 or 4 spoonfuls of a bowl of cereal, my stomach's doing the same thing. So it must not be the milk or the lactose. It must be something else, like the cold liquid. I don't know, it's super weird, but all this time I just figured it was like I didn't tolerate milk well, and I don't think that's the case now. Maybe I don't tolerate milk well, but I think there might be something else going on with that. So if anybody knows, let me know. It's just odd, funny little weird thing. What else? Well, we're still in masks, so that's fun. I never would have dreamed that I thought when they started the mask mandates, it was going to be a couple weeks, you know, flatten the curve, whatever, stop the spread. And we're now going into month 3, July, August, September, October. Yeah, we're going into the 3rd month of the mask mandate. And that kind of makes me wonder. I mean, I know there's some people not wearing masks, but I know there's been things like Sturgis and things like that have happened. But you would still think with mask mandates almost across the nation, I could be wrong about this. I actually don't know how many states have the mask mandates, but I know a lot of them do. You would think there would have been a sharp decline by now. I would have hoped. And then I keep seeing these weird headlines about second waves and third waves and resistant strains that have mutated to not be affected by hand washing and masks and blah blah blah. So it's never ending. It feels at this point like it's just never going to end. This is our new way of life forever. If that's the case, then I need a lot more masks, because I keep rotating through like the same 5, and none of them are really that comfortable, and none of them really fit that well. All of them are a pain in the butt, and I have trouble remembering to wash them on the weekend, so I just keep rotating through the 5 that I have, and not getting them washed as frequently as I would like. So I'm saying a lot. I'm tired. I apologize. But yeah, that's you know, one of those things that I would like to rotate through a different mask every single day and wash the group of them like at least twice a week while I'm rotating. Especially being a smoker, I've noticed, like last night when I got home, for whatever reason, when I first got home, I decided to go like wipe my face down with rubbing alcohol, and around my mouth area was like nicotine colored. So even though I'm done smoking, when I go back in and I put my mask back on for whatever period of time, I'm still exhaling nicotine. And I think it's, you know, adhering to the mask and then rubbing back onto my skin, which gross. That's so gross. But I've also noticed that my glasses that I wear at work are clear framed, and I've noticed that the nose pieces are turning nicotine colored. What are you doing, car? What the fuck? Really? Oh, the car in front of me is having problems. They just slowed down to like 20 miles an hour out of nowhere, and we're like swerving all over. Ugh, people. So that was fun. I'm a little extra nervous on the road because Friday, on my way home from work, I had to take a detour because the road was shut down. But on that detour, I could see the accident that had happened, and it was a Jeep Cherokee had pretty much head-on collisioned with a semi. And it was not a pretty sight. It was not a pretty scene. And I knew as soon as I saw the Jeep that somebody lost their life. Somebody lost their family member. And it was really sobering that when I read the pitiful report I could find on it, basically said that one car was going one direction, the car was going one direction, the semi was going the other, and they made contact at an intersection. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean somebody swerved? Does it mean somebody couldn't see because of the sun and was too far over the line? Did somebody turn in front of somebody else? I don't think so by the way the damage was. It was like straight on. So it was almost like somebody couldn't see and they were over the line and hit the corner of the semi or something. I don't know. The driver of the Jeep was like 84 years old. So it really could have been a number of things. Could he have maybe had a major stroke and that's what caused him to go over the line and into the semi? Like, I don't know. They didn't give any details, but you know, anytime you see an accident where you're almost certain somebody died, it's very sobering, and you know, made me realize how quick I drive an hour to and from work every day, and like how many instances along that route, and how quick could something like that happen. And so I feel like I'm trying to be ultra alert and aware of the cars around me, you know, their movements, and people at intersections, and making sure that I can see, which the sun has not been making it easy lately. I've been coming to work with the sunrise and going home with the sunset, so that's not fun. That car is having some serious troubles. I don't know what their problem is, but they pulled over finally to let me by. So yeah, that was my Friday. I went to normally if I go by Taco Bell and there's like a huge line, I won't stop, but I actually just pulled in the line this time because I kind of needed the extra time to sit and calm my nerves. It was pretty unsettling. So, I mean, while we're at it, let's PSA a little bit, you know, pay attention to what's going on around you. You know, we're all tired, and it's really easy when you're tired and you're driving a long time to kind of space out, or if you're listening to music or an audiobook, to like lose your focus and be paying attention to that even though you're watching the road. But a deadly accident literally happens in a split second. So, you know, this is a reminder to stay alert and stay awake, and be on defense. You know, just like they tell motorcycle riders, every time you get on the bike, you get on like you've never ridden before. And it's kind of the same thing with a car. You know, it should be the same thing with a car or a semi or whatever, because they're all huge, heavy vehicles that literally could kill you and others quite quickly. And so you need to be riding and driving as if it's your first time driving. I think it just makes sense. And if you need to get sunglasses to help with the sun, do that. You know, I hate wearing sunglasses. I don't know why, but I've never really liked wearing sunglasses. So, you know, I've had to get myself and force myself into the habit of instead of squinting and trying to see through the bright sun, to just put the damn glasses on so I can see a little bit better. Yeah, so if that's the case, do that. It seems to be setting enough now that it's not quite in my face as much, which is nice. And that means I can take the glasses off. Yeah, and then it's been interesting with California and Oregon and Washington, and I don't even know where else that's been on fire. We had a couple days here in Minnesota where you could tell that the smoke was, you know, in the sky here. It's been clear mostly. I think we only had maybe 2 days where you could tell that it was smoky, just a little bit. But yeah, I've seen what it looks like in Washington, in my hometown area, and it's not pretty. It seems to have cleared out a little bit now, but it was bad last week, I know. So that's, you know, I know California's still burning. I'm glad I don't live in California. It's not earthquakes, it's fires. If it's not fires, it's mudslides. And if it's, it's like it's always something there. Or if you're in Florida, like Florida, not only is it full of crazy people, no offense to anyone here, but y'all really do seem to attract the crazy ones. Hurricanes, and in the Midwest we have tornadoes. So I guess every area has its thing, but I just feel like Florida and California get hit the worst and the most consistently for some reason, which, y'all are super brave to just stick it out constantly and basically in the face of danger constantly. You never know when the next thing's going to happen. Although the fires in California seem to happen about this time every single year, so that's semi-predictable in that regard. Yeah, so what else? Ooh, I'm tired. I don't know. I've been doing stretches every night. Well, almost every night, and because a couple weeks ago my shoulder blades were just really bad, a lot of pain, and so I've been talking for years about doing stretches every day, and I was always trying to do it in the morning, and I finally decided to just do it one evening, and then if I did it in the morning, I did it in the morning. But I quickly realized that it's pretty easy to do before bed. So why was I fighting it trying to do it in the morning when it's much easier and I have more time availability to do it before bed? So I've been doing that. I've only been doing 6-7 minutes at a time. Eventually I'll work my way up to longer times, but I'm kind of still figuring out which stretches I like, which stretches I want to do repeatedly, and then remembering the ones that I did the day before that I liked. And because I haven't stretched in so long, I'm super not flexible. So I don't want to push it too hard and then, be in pain or pull a muscle or whatever. So I'm taking it easy and just kind of working my way slowly into it, not pushing myself too hard. Definitely when you're stretching, you just want to feel, especially if you're not used to stretching, you don't want to feel pain. You want to feel slight tension and just the slightest of discomfort, and that's where you want to stop. And just hold that. When you feel that slight discomfort, that's where you want to hold. And for me, I started with 5-6 seconds the first night, and then 10 seconds, and then 15 seconds, and then, now I'm at 20-25 seconds per hold as I've done it every single, consecutive days. So hopefully over time I'll be able to hold the poses longer, or stretches, whatever you want to call them. Hold them longer and be more flexible and be able to do them better, because right now I'm not good at them at all. So that's the idea. I've really come to think a lot about, I was in gymnastics as a kid, and I wasn't the most flexible in the class, but I was young and agile and flexible. We're young. When we're young, we're flexible. But over time we lose that because we don't do the same crazy physical activities that we do as a kid, playing outside and playing on the playgrounds and playing monkey bars and playing soccer and whatever else it is that we do. And as we get older, we just do less and less and less of those things, and we don't continue to stretch, and we don't continue to do anything that really pushes our bodies to stay limber and flexible. And there's definitely a health kick out there, and I really think that a big point that I would like to take away from all of that is whether I do the big stuff, I'm not jumping out of planes or doing, winning a gold medal at 40, but what's that term about, use it or lose it? I quite agree with that right now. And I feel like if I had continued to stay limber all these years, I probably wouldn't have some of the, aches and pains I do. Or maybe I'd have more. I don't really know. But I feel like if we can keep our bodies limber and keep that plasticity going throughout our lives, into our old age, that we're going to be healthier and less prone to, bad joints. And, well, no, not necessarily less prone to bad joints. I don't have any facts on that, but I just think it's important, when you see these 94-year-olds that are doing insane aerobic shit and lifting weights or whatever it is, it's insane that, even at that age, and they maybe haven't been in shape all these years, they chose to make a choice to get back into shape and do this or that or whatever it is, and they do it. And they're able to do it, and they're in better shape than me, So if they at 94 can turn it around and accomplish those feats, then I can definitely start again at 40 and at least be in good enough shape that if I wanted to do those things, I could work towards those things and not be, 3 laps behind everybody. So, yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think that it also, stretching before bed is probably good to help me sleep. I think I've been sleeping better. I did wake up like 20 minutes before my alarm today, which was kind of weird since I didn't go to sleep early. I went to sleep late, and still woke up before my alarm. But I've been falling asleep faster. I've been staying asleep, and I haven't been as miserable when I wake up. So I think it's something I can't say 100% that it's from the stretching, but I'm definitely seeing positives that I haven't seen in a really long time, and I don't know what else the explanation would be. I'm not drinking more water. I'm not, there's nothing else I'm doing besides the stretching that would be causing those positive things to be happening, unless they're just completely random, which is possible too, So it is what it is. But if you've been thinking about it and you keep saying that you're going to do it, today's the day. Like, here's your sign. You're going to do it today. Start with 5 minutes. That's all you need. 5 minutes. If you can't do 5, do 4. If you can't do 4, do 3. In fact, the other day I said I was going to do 10 minutes of stretching, and I got to 7 minutes, and I didn't know what else to do. So I decided to just sit. I had relaxation meditation music. So I just sat up and I closed my eyes and I got into a meditation position, and I just quietly meditated for the last 3 minutes. And it was actually like I could feel in those 3 minutes my body just kind of like relax. Like my muscles just kept letting looser and looser and looser, and I was like sinking back into my body almost. I was like, whoa, okay. And I haven't thought to do that since. But yeah, I need to add that in more regularly. It doesn't have to be every night, but I would like to add that in more regularly to, at the end of my stretching, just sit and meditate for a minute or 2 or 3. That doesn't have to be super long either. So do what you can. If you want to do a total of 6 minutes, 3 minutes of stretching and 3 minutes of just quiet meditation, then start there. You can find 5 minutes in your day. You can find 6 minutes in your day. I promise. Put your phone down for 5 or 6 minutes, or just put the app of the music on and let it play. You don't have to be on Facebook. Yeah, so that was kind of a rant, I guess. I am home, well, I'm still about 20-25 minutes from home, but I keep not being really able to think of anything else, so I'm rambling. So I'm going to end the video, and I hope that y'all are having a good week. Be kind to each other, and be aware of your surroundings. Please keep taking your COVID-19 precautions. Let's shut this shit down, like, for real. I'm so over it. Even if you don't believe in it, just fucking do it. Just pretend that it's real, and you're like the greatest actor or actress ever. Pretend that it's real, and do the stuff. Just long enough to see what happens. Just give it a few months. Couldn't hurt. And if anybody asks, just say you're practicing for a part in a movie. It's really not that hard. So let's, those of you that don't believe, let's just pretend that it is real, and let's pretend that we are worried about it, and we're going to do the precautions and do the stuff. Why not? Couldn't hurt. Might not help, but it couldn't hurt. That's how I feel about a lot of things, actually. Alright, I'm going to let y'all go. Have a good day. Do some stretching. Do some deep breathing. Drink some water. Bye.